Hello everyone, so I'll try and do a video update. It might be across a few days as I'm feeling quite tired mentally and physically, and a bit despondent really. This week's been tough, as every week has been. Don't think that's unusual in anorexia or in patient treatment. But I'm finding it very frustrating that I'm not making the progress that I imagined I'd be making, and more frustrating given the effort that I've been putting in. I've been finding it so hard, not just because of anorexia, but because of physical health holding me back still. I've been referred to the long COVID clinic now, and I'm on yet another course of antibiotics for chest infection. But things like loss of taste and GI symptoms are really making getting through meals hard. That's not to say I'm not. It's just to say it's an additional barrier to the anorexic voice in my head. So it feels like I'm trying to fight multiple things at once. And usually at a healthy weight, when physically unwell, you can probably afford to go to bed and have a few days off food and catch up and make up for it, but there's not that option when you're trying to recover from anorexia, and there's not that option certainly as an inpatient on a strict 6 meal a day plan. So it's been a real challenge, made harder emotionally because of the storms which have prevented me having the first visit from my mum, which, as I'm sure any of you who've been following my story will know by now, is one of my main motivations to get better. I'm technically should be, well, I am her registered carer, and the guilt that I feel for not being there for her and causing all this, causing her to have to be the one to travel. We're a long way away from each other at the moment, and she doesn't drive, so it's 3 hours each way. And of course that's all been ruined because of the travel disruption, so we're not used to, either of us are not used to spending this long apart. And it's been so hard as well not to sound disappointed when I've spoken to her on the phone, even though I feel disappointed, sad, again a lot of tears, but there have been some pick-me-ups. I've had some visits from friends again, this time localish, and I've got another one booked in. Although I'm still stuck in the wheelchair, I have secured some additional freedoms, if you like, if you can call them that, comparative freedoms, to have a bit more time off the ward just to give me a break from the same four walls, which I started today, and that was, I think, helpful. It at least meant that I wasn't agitated and pacing, which is one of my main coping strategies for stress and de-stress when I'm, as part of my autism, actually not as part of calorie burning or anything like that. So that's where I'm at the moment. Again, I've had some lovely cards and gifts that have really picked me up. Often they've come just at the right time when I've been feeling at my lowest, and it's really warming to know that people are still thinking about me, and when I don't feel I deserve that, I feel very responsible and isolated as well, because I can't see my outside world and my usual world. It's very easy to feel that's just forgotten you, and it is carrying on without me. Of course it is, it has to, but it just adds to my frustration of being stuck. So I think that summarises where I am at the moment, stuck. There have been some improvements in terms of I've managed to watch some TV programmes, which I wasn't doing before I came in. I've had reassuring chats with my employer, that I don't need to worry and that I'll be supported when I return to work and so on. And people have commented that cognitively I seem more with it, despite physically being in a worse situation than when they last saw me. And I suppose that's to do with having more constant, reliable nutrition, even though that's not showing physically in the numbers yet. I'm hoping as of the next weigh day that will show, but let's see. I just feel like every week that there's not that progress is a week longer that I'm going to have to spend here, a week longer that I won't get the visits that I want, which is doing my head no good because it's just winding me up even more, which of course doesn't help the eating situation when you're feeling that agitated and frustrated. So that's where we're at. I'll keep doing updates when I can, and speak soon.